Like, I'm gonna be real with you. If it's not these two athletes, I'm a loser. Oh yeah, and by the way, if you're new to the channel, go ahead and hit that like and that subscribe button, because if you don't, you have a very high chance of being a simp. And you don't want to be a simp for someone who's not going to simp back for you. Luckily, the Prez got your back and he's always showing love. So go ahead and join in and hit that notification bell so you get notified for more of my videos. Let's go. That was a good little bait for the intro, right? To get you hooked, right? I think I did pretty good. WWE 2K22 is almost here in a couple months, and we still don't know what the cover even looks like. Now, the cover doesn't matter too much. I haven't really cared in the past couple of years. Mainly it's because I buy digital copies, but it's still cool to know what the new game is going to be themed around. Now, with the last one where we had Becky Lynch and Roman Reigns, it was themed around duos. Mixed tag team matches have finally returned when it came to that. But I kind of feel like they're going to stick with the duos theme. And I feel like the two athletes that we should definitely be seeing on the next cover are Sasha Banks and Drew McIntyre. Now, if you are subscribed to the channel, you know I put up a poll last week asking you guys who you guys thought should be on the cover of the new game. And lo and behold, it was Drew McIntyre and Sasha Banks, of course. Now, don't get me wrong, that Fiend and Alexa Bliss one, that would probably look pretty nice too, but they're probably not going to go with that because of marketing. And now let me give you a couple of reasons as to why I put such merit into these superstars being on the cover. For one, let's go ahead and get it out of the way. It's name recognition. Now, every wrestling fan knows who Drew McIntyre is, or at least they've heard of his name. Even if you're an old head, you know about the name Drew McIntyre. You're like, oh yeah, I heard it somewhere around. I thought he was a UFC fighter, but I heard the name. But Sasha Banks, when it comes to the millennial and the Gen Z generations, she's definitely well known because she's been on places like VH1, MTV, Disney Channel, Star Wars, ESPN. She's been everywhere. So when it comes to name recognition and a superstar who just came off of one of the, actually, I believe, the best year of her career by far, it's only right that you kind of reward this person with the cover. And with Drew McIntyre, yeah, he wasn't the most recent Royal Rumble winner, but he did have a great WrestleMania match, and he also won the Royal Rumble last year. So, you know, it's still somewhat recent. And like I said, these two were both former world champions in the past year. This is by far the best years of their careers compared to anybody within the last year, I would think. Now, don't get me wrong, Roman Reigns is having one of the best runs in WWE history right now as we speak. But this started around, what, January, February, really, where this started kicking up. Plus, I would like to think they wouldn't put Roman on back-to-back covers. Another reason which this is kind of rare because they don't really do this as often, but I would like to think they're going to do a showcase around these two superstars on the cover. I can't remember the last time they did a showcase for a cover athlete. I think Stone Cold back in 2K16. But this time around, I believe it will be a pretty good showcase for both of them. For Drew McIntyre, you can talk about his beginnings, his chosen one gimmick where he came in as the prototype. Then you could show his 3B era, which gives you a chance to have Jinder Mahal, another former world champion, be playable. You will have to replace Heath Slater because he's in AEW. Let's just throw in the Enforcer. Everybody knows my boy the Enforcer will fill his role easily. You know, the Enforcer, he's just so ambiguous looking. He could be anybody, you know? And then, of course, ended off with him conquering the mountain, Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania. And with Sasha, you could go from NXT all the way up to Raw, where she had that weird faction with Naomi and Tamina, right? I think that's who it was. And then, you know, go through all that. Then her tag team with Bayley. You can even show her not being able to defend the championship a couple of times in between. And of course, ended off with her beating her best friend Bayley for the championship and defending it. and boom. I think that would be a good showcase. I know a lot of people don't like showcase mode, but I feel like if you want to refresh some of the new fans on who these superstars are, then showcase is always a good step into the history of what's been happening in wrestling if you haven't been keeping up. Another reason I think these two will be on the cover is because it'll be cool to have a heel and face dynamic, so that way you have somebody representing the heels, somebody representing the face, but also somebody representing Raw and somebody representing SmackDown. And I mean, just for me, bring back the red and blue cover. And finally, I'm just gonna put my money where my mouth is and say that Sasha Banks and Drew McIntyre had some of the best WrestleMania matches in this past year. So it's only right that, you know, two of the best athletes in your company rock the cover. But let me know what you guys think. I don't want to get too emotional about it, you know, one way or the other. But I really feel in my brain that's the only logical conclusion, is to have these two athletes on the cover, you know? Representing the women, representing the men, representing Raw, SmackDown, heel, face. It's the perfect balance, but not all things are balanced. And this is also WWE we're talking about. At the end of the day, they picked the cover, not the community, and definitely not the creators, sadly. But if you're new to the channel, my name is President Q. I do a lot of WWE 2K. I'm starting to do NBA 2K now that game is starting to rev up and there's no NBA Live. Well, I'm making a video about that in a little bit as well. That's kind of ooh. But if you like my content, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. I also do tech and I live stream every once in a while when I get the chance. I've been getting worked to death this whole week, so I haven't really been able to get to it, but I'm gonna get back on my grind. The grind don't stop in 2021. We gonna make it to 5,000 subscribers, all right? But I'll talk to your ugly, sexy face later. This has been your President Q, and I'm out. Peace.